And we are live. Back from a little 1 week hiatus, guys. We just needed a little bit of a recharge. There is absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, more exciting than the episode that we have in store. Wow, my notes are actually quite filled. But we're here live to a live, like, how many hours do we have left now? Like a little less than 72, but a little more than 48, maybe. Hours left until we have our first ever college football playoff games. Saturday is going to be wild. I can't wait. I'm excited to be here. Joined is I'm not. Yeah, he's got a camera this time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In a festive Christmas sweater. Did I miss the memo that we were going to wear Christmas sweaters?
Dude, I was just feeling festive today. Nothing other than that. So all good here. But maybe next week. We both line up.
10-4. Shades in the crib is crazy.
We're talking about
future so bright he can hardly see. So listen, the way I see this episode, it's really going to be. I really wished that I could tell you it was going to be a 3-parter as far as to like how we're going to go about it, because there's quite a bit that we have to say. I had a bit of travel out of town. There was a potential for maybe like a little live show that we were going to do for the Armed Forces Bowl. Shout out to all the service members. We support you, and we certainly do appreciate what you do for us. But we decided that we were going to take a little bit of a break. I mean, in Jesus of Nazareth, the amount of things that have happened in that time since we've last had a discussion. Lots changed in 2 weeks. Transfer portal is open, which clearly, as you can expect here in the South, teams are pretty much just trading players, it seems like. And then obviously we've got the college football playoff and game by game as we see it. So I guess the only way that we can get into it is to go right after, what's been giving everyone the most headlines, and it's right into the transfer portal.
I think we should start, and I forgot to, mention this at all. Let's just, before we get there,
okay,
talk about the breaking news from yesterday, I believe, about the JUCO eligibility. What are your thoughts on how that ruling went and all that stuff? Because we've already seen some pretty good opinions on it.
So, okay, I'm in two worlds here, man. Like we're young men, right? But you and I graduated college a while ago. Like, we graduated college and went and got full-time jobs. You develop a sense of understanding about the world a little bit, as far as, whereas you might not have thought about anything other than like penny pincher shots and, where's my socks when you're in school. I am of the belief that at some point you are saturating the sport with these older fellas, and you are, and from a viewpoint of that, if that's the camp you live in, then you're crippling them from becoming, committed to society and being active workforce people. So, okay, I'm with you. I don't think we should have 28, 29, and 30-year-olds, playing college football whenever you've got 18-year-olds doing it. And save me and spare me that it's not safe or whatever the case. That's not. If you're worried about safety in college football, then the rules for kickoffs wouldn't have changed after 112 years. You'd have did that years ago. The reason why it's dumb is because you are now making it more difficult for the kids that really and truly need to have these hardship waivers and whatnot signed. You're making it harder for them to have the opportunity to take advantage of what NIL is supposed to be, and that's promoting brands, promoting companies, name, image, and likeness, which we already know it is not that. It is pay for play only. And then the other end of the spectrum is, if it's your son, what do you do? And the answer is you obviously take advantage of the system. And it's for that reason where it's like, listen, kid, there's no guide rails on this. There's no rules. And the courts obviously don't want to touch this right now until it affects, something, bigger and more broad rather. So it's for that reason where it's like, what do you expect him to do? He's going to, do you agree or do you agree not? Because we're obviously talking about Captain Diego Pavia now. So how do you feel about this here? Does Diego Pavia make more money at Vanderbilt next year, or going to the NFL and making a roster maybe somewhere and going to a training camp? How much money do you think he makes more here or there?
Oh, Vanderbilt.
Obviously.
Yeah,
so
it's not close.
It's not close. So clearly for him, it makes sense to come play. I mean, he's smaller than both of us. So there's no So that's and we're being hyperbolic. Like he doesn't translate. Is what they're going to tell him at the next level. And now I'm not telling you that he doesn't, and I'm not telling you that he couldn't. I think he's a great college quarterback. But we watched Tim Tebow not make it. You feel me? So
right.
It's because of that. I think it's ridiculous. And you're also saturating the league even more. And so we already have half the kids in college football that are already transferring, and you're making it worse now because the kids are 25, 6, 7, 8. So
and I think a lot of us, we got normalized to what COVID did, right? And I think the eligibility for that was fair. However, I don't know. I just think at this point we're kind of past that. We need to get back to what we originally, were living with for several decades. So I don't know. Not happy with it. I agree with Sark. Sark was asked about it. He laid it out perfectly. It's not good for this. Not good for the game. So
I agree. And I mean, and so we'll go right into it. And as far as that relates to the transfer portal, and listen, dude, I'm going to try to go into this as calmly as I can possibly do because I already know it's going to happen. I'm going to get pissed off. I'm Sicilian. I can't help it. If you're going to be committed to this model as a fan, and I had someone put it this easily, and it's true. If you were to go to an NBA game and you go watch the Rockets play the Kings, and you're from Houston, and you buy a ticket and you get off of work, you come, you get somebody to watch the kids, and you go to the game with you and your buddies and your wives, okay? And then you get there, and there's a little kiosk that says, "Please donate so that you can pay, please donate so we can pay, give me someone's salary on their team that, Jabari, like give me someone's salary." Like, you're going to show up to the basketball game and click the kiosk for 10, 20, 50, $100 to go pay their salary? Absolutely the hell not. And the first thing that someone's going to say is, that's a grown man, and you are a entity of yourself. You should have money. You should collect yourselves your money in your own freaking way. Fundraise yourself. Do whatever it is that you got to do. It's not really fundraising in the NBA because you've got ad deals and media rights and things like that. And you're also dealing with professionals. That is exactly what you're doing right now in college sports, and people are sick of it. However, there is the select few that got with it from jump. Ole Miss being a great example of a fan base that said, we have to do this or we're not going to compete because our coach is good enough to get us there on one side of the ball, and he can make a 3-star perform like a 4 and a 4 like a 5, and I can scheme them open. But if I can't stop a nosebleed, it's not going to work. So Ole Miss gets down with it, right? And then who else got down with it? Clearly Alabama was going to get down with it, but Nick had been doing it for years and wasn't hiding it. You've got people in Amite, Louisiana at barber shops that are directly correlated to getting these kids chargers and scat packs 24 hours after they sign papers and get in their dorm. You think that just happens out of the goodness of some donor's heart? No, it was organized before then. Give me a break. And I'm not mad about it. I'm sitting here telling you that this is a model that is not realistic long term. And so what I want to get your thoughts on, because I saw this on Twitter and it immediately pissed me off. I'm at my 9 to 5, Anthony. as a grown adult that pays taxes and has a mortgage and a home, I am angry and aggravated because I have people that I know that give to a collective rather, of their local college football team. And it ain't just the one that you and I live down the road from. It's, 2 states over, 3 states over, 5 states up to the north. I know people that donate. We all do. So the first thing that I see on Twitter is Greg Byrne, who has the balls to come out into the public and complain and moan and whine about there being tampering. Excuse me? Excuse me, big dog. Were you not there whenever Kayshon Boutte was literally contacted, not even on his personal cell phone, but the phone given to him by the university? And the only phone you didn't call was the one that comes up on MapQuest when you Google LSU. Okay. And as soon as the phone gets called, the agent immediately reaches back out to you, and the deal is already made for him to go. And it wasn't until an injury attorney had to come and sweep in and save the kid. You want me to give you the example at Ohio State? You want to give me the example at Michigan, where you had a coach that with a JanSport with blank checks? Like, stop me when you want me, when I'm saying something wrong. So save me from the poor me when you're the only school within, I don't know, the last ever of existence that has ever had a coach that was that dominant in anything. Belichick wasn't even, I mean, Belichick had Brady. But when you are at the top and you have the balls to come out and tell us that you are being affected negatively by anything related to NIL, is incredibly insincere and laughable. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because you know what he did do? He could just be on his high horse and say, I went and got Nate Oates. Okay, how'd that work out for you? I think pretty awesome. You're a good evaluator of talent. You get a baseball team that sucked for the last handful of years. Now all of a sudden your baseball team's pretty respectable, right? You won national championships in football. That wasn't your fault. That was definitely not your doing. So if I start to see ADs take that, like that MO, after their fans have already given, because the first people to get pissed about this were Alabama fans, okay? If that's how they're going to respond to it, whenever your team then doesn't perform, that is when fans are going to stop doing it. That's when they're going to stop donating. And that's when this shit is going to start having to take a turn for the worst in the other direction. We're going to have to start getting guardrails on the thing because no one's going to donate. And it's only whenever the richest of the people get affected is there going to be some stuff that moves. You feel me? You feel what I'm talking about? Because right now fans are just kind of, and you finally got one that lives in Louisiana, and now the school's trying to get it right. Okay.
Right.
So don't let that be the new normal, because I swear to God, if these ADs start doing this on my Twitter roots, I'm going to blow a gasket, dog.
No, I mean, I think you will start seeing it. I think this whole thing is going to keep evolving into this absolute chaotic, you know what? I mean, I believe that we're doomed for this for years, because what is the fix, Trey? Like what is the fix?
We know what the fix is.
But like, obviously there's legal ramifications behind this. You have to get some of the like just talking about in general, not like this specific thing, just where we're going in general. We're at a point where these kids are, not considered professionals, and that kind of, until that happens, we're going to see there. It's just hard to like the transfer portal, for example. When that expanded and evolved, this opened the floodgates, right? Because
absolutely it did.
Now every year it's just a big free agency, which it's cool. You can have the flexibility instead of being doomed for several years without being able to maybe recruit well, you can turn your season around 1-2 years, right? So like from that aspect, it's fine. I just think the money aspect has to, but like, how do you fix it? I don't know. I truly don't know. You can't. Do you cap it? You're going to cap donors from spending what? And now you get into a situation where down the line, when this continues to evolve, you're going to have the money's only going to go up, right? Like Bryce like, but let's be honest, no one's giving Bryce Underwood money. I mean, like yet, but like no one's getting that kind of money, especially if the kid doesn't turn out the way he's intended to. So I just think I'm along the ride. I mean, I just think we're going to be here for a while. Some of it's funny. I get where you're coming from, but you're only going to see more ADs come out. I think Bama has always been in that situation where they were doing it first before this was even a thing, before this was even allowed. And I think
we knew that, and we accepted that.
We accepted that, but I mean, we're in a different age now. Now there's an even playing field. Bama's salty because they didn't get in, which they didn't deserve to get in. In my opinion,
I agree.
Just from a whole, like if you compare the actual situation, maybe you could make an argument, but just in general. But yeah, it's to me, it's fun in some ways. Like this transfer portal thing's cool. Like we've had an interesting 2 weeks, right? Like, just keeping up with where people are going. I think Kentucky's whole receiving room dissipated in the last 3 or 4 days. I mean, my God.
It happens when you win one game.
I want to see, but like, it's pretty cool from that aspect. And I'm always pro student athlete. These kids should be making money. These kids should be taken care of. It's just we've got to get some kind of regulation on it. I just don't know when that's going to come. So we can be frustrated with these ADs. I agree that when the rich people start bitching, of course, us folks, that are not in their situations will get sensitive about it, and I think we have every right to. So
yeah, absolutely. And we to this about the portal, we got a question in the chat. Ryan, we will get to that here in just a minute. So don't let that fall on deaf ears. The answer to your question quickly and flatly is no, they did not. Not yet anyway, but we'll get to that. I will say candidly, if you're going to be the kind of coach that says, hey, that's my fault. You know what I mean? We didn't hit on our targets. We didn't collect enough. We weren't, we didn't do it the right way. We weren't willing to pay so-and-so. And you clearly saw LSU put their hands in the air. We talked about this with the Bryce Underwood situation. You just, sorry, can't do it. But what you're now seeing now, which is exactly what we said, right? And that now they're going to have the opportunity to go out and sign some dogs. So to play devil's advocate, if you're a fan, which I know that you are, if you're a fan, Roos, would you prefer to be a fan of the team where the coach is willing to donate his own money to the joint? Or would you prefer to be a fan of the team where you're going out and you are, and again, Greg Burns could have worded it better because I know what he meant, but it's the way that you said it, which showed me that you believe in that, in the poor me's. And I don't believe in poor me's. Go out and do the work. So the answer is obviously not the latter, and it's the former. The answer is obviously I want a coach that's going to go out and say, you know what, dog, it's on me. I'm putting $1 million up. And then you got a anonymous dono from somebody, sound like a Twitch streamer, that says I'm going to match it. That's what it takes. It takes accountability, period. And in a world where this is the way and the model for right now, and there is no guardrails, because obviously it is what you do is that you put a cap. You don't have different salary caps for teams that make more money, because I don't necessarily think that that's the model right now. because if that's the case, then Texas and Texas A&M are still going to be postured in a better light because they're going to be worth more money than the rest of the SEC, or Ohio State and Michigan and the rest of the Big Ten up there with Oregon. So it's a cap. We have every team gets this much money to spend, and then you have an extra stipend of this percentage of maybe another 25% that you can raise, as much as you can raise from the fans up to this amount rather, and then that's it. And everybody gets to go after it. And you know what else it'll stop? It'll stop these coaches from complaining about a position that they're in and where other kids or kids are going to other schools because they're being offered more money. Obviously, if I'm getting paid $1 million to go to Georgia, I'm not going to take $300,000 to go play at Auburn. Why the hell would I do that? I'm going to take the extra $700K and go pay my mom a house off. You feel me? Like that. Like this isn't hard. And I'm not bashing the process. I'm bashing the rules that allow it because this is obviously not sustainable. And it affects people like you and I who are the ones that are having to fund the shit. So that's where we're at. I don't love it. It's aggravating. However, we're going to get right into the portal. You're muted.
Daigle, I forgot. I was going to say, let's get Heated Trey moved on here because he's cracked right now.
Yeah.
To answer this question, technically no.
Technically no, technically yes.
But we got some DBs that would potentially make that jump. Kid from Virginia Tech.
Delane?
Yeah, and then Jackson from Florida, both stud DBs. So
Delane's a proven stud. Jackson's the come up.
But I hope they're playing DB, so we might need some freshmen or we still have a long road ahead as far as the portal is concerned. It's only the beginning. Maybe all the big names are starting to dwindle up, but for sure, LSU has made great strides. I would say, except for the offensive line, we need some help there. Hopefully, we have some people down the pipeline coming down for that. But we got a whole receiving room just from the portal. So
keep your eyes on a center. If you're LSU, keep your eyes on a center that may or may not play in the ACC.
Hopefully his friend puts a good word in.
and to be honest, big dog, to answer your question more directly, Ryan, I don't think so. Delane started as a safety, and he obviously can play that for you. He kind of raised his hand and did that for Virginia Tech down the stretch there. His last pick was literally thrown right to him. I mean, he was just right there, the breadbasket. But I don't think the safety help, and this is a tidbit. I don't think that the safety help that you get if you're LSU is in the portal right now. I think the safety help that you get has not yet entered and could potentially be on a team that's in the college football playoff. And I feel the exact same way for the offensive line. You've got Sadir Mitchell coming in on the defensive line for Texas, a big 6'6", over 300-pounder. Bo Davis recruited him. Do you get some help on the line? Obviously, you saw Kyron Lacy today. He obviously is going to go and forego his bowl game and get ready for the combine. I don't want to be hyperbolic. And the reason for that is because I don't want to live in the excitement so much that I'm not being realistic. But if you want like an idea of what speed looks like, that's what LSU's got at receiver, big dog. I mean, you've got the fastest player in college football that, holds a water bottle for you right now. And he's a freshman. His name is Jelani Watkins. He was the junior nation track and field champion. Like, big homie literally doesn't even play yet. I mean,
don't forget Chadwick. Closest thing we've had to Brad Wing in a while.
Big dog has a boot, bro. I mean, let's look at this, by the way, which I will say this candidly. I don't like Debo Atkins going to Auburn. That doesn't feel right. But Nick Anderson, Destin Hill. Destin Hill's got a little bit of an injury problem, but he's from Edna Carr. He maps, he tracks. He's in that mold of kind of what Cortez likes. We talked about Mansour Delane, obviously on the other side of the ball. Jesus, Michael Van Buren, I loved it. Barry and Brown, Jesus, I might like Barry and Brown the most. I know obviously Nick Anderson is the big name here, but dude, Barry and Brown is unbelievable. But the one that I want to talk about really, really quick, and we can get your thoughts on this as well before we, wrap LSU and head on to the other teams, is the best transfer right now to me, other than maybe Mansour Delane, the best transfer we've got right now, if you're LSU, is Jack Pyburn. I mean, when we talk about getting active, and that's what he does, bro is like up in there, talking about, like in there, dog. Don't play with me. Don't give me nasty off the edge, because that is a quintessential piece of any team that can rush the passer, is someone that is a absolute just slam your head against the ground freak, and that's what Jack Pyburn is.
No, yeah, I mean, you can make arguments for several people, man. I think they've got a multitude of receivers, multitude of DBs. We just need to clean up the O-line, and I'll feel better. I just don't want to rely. We're replacing 3 guys on the offensive line, at least, and we got to get at least 2 from the portal. And like you said, we still have a lot of teams. We'll see a new wave of people next week. With 4 teams being eliminated from contention. So lots of movement left. Hopefully we can grab some linemen. I think we should move on. Let's talk about any just notables from the transfer portal. We can talk about Quinn Ewers potentially staying in college, which I am leaning towards him going to Oregon. There were rumors initially about how he got a $4 million offer on the table from Michigan State was the rumored school. But now we're hearing some rumblings about Oregon, which checks out. They like to just get their one-and-done quarterback and be done with it. But any thoughts? What impressed you the most? What team impressed you the most? What team underwhelmed in the portal so far from here?
I mean, underwhelmed?
Yeah. I mean, there are several teams you can pull from.
Can we just disregard the ones that are involved right now in the college football playoff, because they kind of have their hands full?
Oh yeah, we can disregard them. I mean, I would say the leader would be USC right now.
We're going full scope. I would have given you Oklahoma before 24 hours ago. USC is a really good one. I can't really say that I'm overly.
Oklahoma's okay. I mean, they lost a lot of their studs. Don't get me wrong, but I mean,
they got a boy at QB.
They got a boy at QB now.
But their O line might be me and you right now.
That's fair. I'd say USC is probably number 1 up there right now for.
USC's up there. I'm not in. I mean, Miami's been okay.
They got old boy CJ.
CJ's a bucket. They got one with him.
Good on him. Yeah.
I mean, North Carolina is starting to make a little bit of noise.
What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on Belichick?
I can't. No, I can't see how it does. I mean,
I got this weird feeling that it might.
Maybe. I mean, of course it might. He knows football, but
I think the win total, I forgot what their win total was. It was on FanDuel. It'll be interesting. I think you'll at least get some big name quarterbacks just with the name. Like if money's close with teams, I think you easily get a quarterback. You have some pull, with a Belichick at the helm. I think he really wanted an NFL gig, and he kind of realized the landscape, and like it's his world in college. Like no team's gonna tell him to F off unless he's just disgustingly bad. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm cool and down for it. I can easily see why people aren't, but I think it's good for him, and I think it's good for the sport. I think we should see other guys come down, maybe like a Rex Ryan. Love watching him on ESPN. All some of these older coaches that can maybe get involved. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Winners of the transfer portal. I mean, tough to tell right now. I mean, I'd say LSU's up there. I'd say Ole Miss is up there. Ole Miss has had a really good portal so far. Every SEC team's got a quarterback. I mean, Jackson Arnold to Auburn. Auburn's finally going to have them a quarterback back there. Homeboy just went to Kentucky. I mean, he's not horrible, but I mean, another quarterback, Pavia with Vanderbilt. I think Ricky Collins went to Syracuse, even though he denied that. I don't know what the word is on that. Swan's entering for LSU, but I mean, I think all these SEC schools got themselves a pretty good quarterback that needed one. So, Daigle saying Texas Tech. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really sure. I've kept up a lot with the moves they've made. I know we were interested in their former 5-star receiver. I think he ended up going to A&M though. So haven't seen A&M a lot.
No.
Ooh, camera went unplugged. There we go. Anyways, I digress. You want to get into these games?
Yeah, I mean, we can go right on into it.
Indiana and Notre Dame. First game opened at an 8.5-point line for Notre Dame. Opened with a 52.5, and now we're at 7 and 51.5. Thoughts, predictions, best bets. What you got?
I'll go Notre Dame. I think both of these teams are, both of them have played very few people that were worth a damn. However, Notre Dame did go on the road and beat A&M early in the year. I just don't think. I mean, Indiana's had a great run. I like Notre Dame in this game. I think they keep it close to the ground here. I don't necessarily think that they trust to put the ball in the air because they literally can't throw a forward pass. And I also think that you don't do anything away from your normal to risk, advancing here. I don't think that they'll need to have to throw the ball. I think they should be fine in the trenches, and that defense will keep them in the game. And if Indiana gets wild, they'll be able to take one away from them here and there. So I'll take Notre Dame there. Give me 25 degrees or something stupid.
Yeah, I'm having camera issues over here. Camera issues seem to follow me as well, and I didn't know they had 9 4-stars. Daigle, can you see this this camera thing on the screen?
Yeah, I see it.
I think this game is very intriguing. I think okay. Notre Dame can be one-dimensional a bit. If you can stop their run game, it gets interesting. Can Indiana get enough stops will be the question. I think this game's super close. And I'm kind of liking the under.
I love the under.
51.5, give me the under all day. I just think we're going to have a lot of long possessions. Some might not come out with touchdowns. I think, Indiana could pass the ball better. But, I mean, I just think this comes down to the trenches, their 5 versus your 5. I'll take Notre Dame by a field goal. That's where I'm at. So I'd take Indiana on the spread with a touchdown, maybe buy up to a hook, and then I'd give me the under all day in that. But I think Notre Dame wins a close one. It's going to be a very interesting game. I'm intrigued by that game. So I'm locking in that. You're locking in the under. Where you like money line for Notre Dame, or just Notre Dame in general? Because
I'll just. I mean, if I could parlay the money line and the under, that might be worth it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on to the 11 a.m. game on Saturday. Another intriguing game. SMU taking on Penn State. Opened at 8.5 for Penn State. It remains 8.5, and the total opened at 52.5 has been bumped up to 53.5. Thoughts, concerns on this game?
What did you say it was again?
53.5 for the total and 8.5 for the spread.
And what's going to be the temperature there?
26.
Is that accurate? Is it really going to be that cold?
That's what ESPN says. There we go. We're back.
I mean,
big Texas Tech guy. There you go.
I mean, speaking of Texas schools, if you want to talk about SMU, I mean,
26 is just what ESPN says. Can't confirm, deny. Let's just agree to say it's going to probably be below 35.
You think anybody on the SMU team is prepared to go to play Penn State in the cold?
I mean,
come on, dude.
What was the weather in Pitt?
Come on, dude.
I am with you. I know where you're going towards. I don't trust James Franklin.
This isn't the game that I wouldn't trust him in.
I get it. Like, he's favored. He's favored. He's supposed to win. I get it. Just something in the back of my mind tells me don't bet the spread. I think
the spread, no, but I Penn State's gonna win the game, dude.
I think Penn State wins the game. This total is scary. I mean, you could see a backdoor cover if Penn State decides to get up early. I hate this game other than the money line. Great parlay piece, in my opinion, if you're looking to cook something up. But I'm with you. It's going to be tough, but once again, I just can't trust James Franklin. So moving on to the 3 o'clock game in Austin, Texas. Number 12, Clemson, taking on Texas. Opened at 54.5, all the way down to 51.5 now. And the spread, minus 10.5, has moved to minus 12, which is interesting because I'm of the and I've talked with our good friend Snee, who's an avid Texas fan. This game is going to be close. I'm telling you.
I think it's closer than 12 for sure, but I don't think
I think it's way closer than 12. I think we get maybe a field goal game here. I'm telling you.
Dude, they're going to have to turn the ball over if you're Clemson. You're going to have to turn the ball over and get a turnover to stay in this game because Texas is better than you everywhere. Except I think it's a wash at quarterback unless it's Arch.
I don't know. I just think we've seen enough of Quinn to where, if we get one of his big game performances, it's just not coming as often as it should, in my opinion. And yeah, I don't know. I think this game is close. I think South Carolina was a good team. And that was a playoff-like game, and it was 17-14. I take a lot of that in there. Obviously, I'm not discounting the SEC championship game. However, I'm telling you, they looked very impressive against SMU. And you don't think SMU is a great team, but to me, this has all the the tea leaves made for a close game. Give me Clemson on the spread for sure. I love plus 12. Total one nothing to do with probably under. It's like a lot of these games I just don't see getting into the 50s because I think it's just gonna be so tight. But give me Clemson on the points. Thoughts on your end?
I don't think this is that hard. I think Texas is better than them. Texas should win this game, but if they turn the ball over, it could get hairy. So I'll take Texas.
Okay. We'll move on to the last game, which I think will be the most entertaining of them all. Number 9, Tennessee, which you could consider not a home field advantage for Ohio State anymore, but it is indeed in Columbus, Ohio State. So what are your thoughts on this game? The total is 7.5 for Ohio State, 45.5 for the total. Thoughts, concerns?
Favorite play of the weekend is the under in this game. Absolutely favorite play of the weekend is the under in this game. I think both of these offenses are anemic when they've needed to play against a good stout defense, and I think both of these defenses have front sevens that are going to give these offensive lines fits. I would be shocked if this became a shootout, and if I had to pick today, I'd pick Ohio State to get a rematch with Oregon because I don't necessarily think that Nico has given me enough confidence to believe that he's going to go on the road and win this. So not that they can't. Obviously, they could. I believe in Heupel, but I'd pick Ohio State.
Ohio State by 3. I'm with you. I don't. I just have seen Nico play in a lot of close games, and it just not look good. However, I have stated on several occasions that I do not trust Howard. Okay. To me, I just think he's pretty good, but I got a sour taste in my mouth after that loss to Michigan, man. It's like they almost – I wouldn't even use the excuse of a trap game or a letdown game because they were talking all week about that game, how they were going to come in and destroy them, how this game meant everything to them. And then, the whole fiasco after with the flag planting and stuff like that. So I'm going to say this. I would not be shocked if I had to pick one upset outright. It would be Tennessee.
Okay.
I will throw a flyer on their money line. I will bet their spread. I think they do cover the hook with the 7.5. However, I can easily see them getting their asses kicked. So that's what scares me. With Clemson, Texas, I don't have that fear with Texas. I think that game's going to be close. I don't think Texas is going to blow them out. Penn State could probably blow out SMU. Notre Dame, I'm not really scared on that game either with the spread. This game scares me because I can easily see a runaway, but my gut tells me Tennessee actually has a chance in this game. So give me them. If I had to give you a parlay, I don't think we'll see 4 for 4 on chalk. That's my prediction. Give me Tennessee on the money line. 100%. Okay. Scares me, but
it should. There's no reason to believe they couldn't, dude. Like I said, I trust Heupel. It's just a matter of, are you prepared? Are you prepared to come here today and say that they're not going to make mistakes and not turn the ball over? I'm not.
I don't know.
So
I don't know. To be fair, have we really watched a lot of Tennessee?
I have.
But has the mainstream how many primetime games did they get?
I mean, we were all watching whenever Arkansas beat them.
How many primetime games did they get? Like, I think a lot of people are discounting how good this team is.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, I think that they're good, but they obviously Vegas is telling you that Ohio State's better. And so what I'm trying to say is that I would not be surprised if Tennessee does what Tennessee does and they have a slow start on offense and they're having to throw the ball late and they make a mistake.
Yeah.
That's what they've done.
Top 3 most likely to take home a championship. I think Oregon's got to be number 1. Just given their positioning right now.
Oregon, Georgia, Ohio State for me.
I'm not putting Georgia in there. I think Georgia loses in Notre Dame.
Why?
Without Carson Beck, I don't.
They're better. They're better without Carson Beck.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
What did he do in that game that made you think that they were a better team with him, dude?
This guy threw a stupid pick. This new kid. I mean, he made an absolute rookie mistake.
I mean, if the new kid's not great, then maybe. But if you're a Notre Dame fan, you better hope that they don't have an option.
Absolutely not.
Quarterback.
Absolutely not, bro. Notre Dame beats Georgia. So, given that, I'm going to put Notre Dame in my top 3. I'm going to put them at 3.
Then make a
Oregon
bet on
number
that,
1
though, because Vegas has them at like 9 or 10-1 right now.
I don't trust Penn State. So if I had to pick a third team, man, I don't know. I don't want to even consider James Franklin. I think it's Oregon, Notre Dame. That's what I'm going to give you. I'm not going to give you a third because Boise State's not winning. Let's just be real for that. So, but I know that just triggered the hell out of Trey with that take. But
I get you. I feel exactly where you're coming from. I just think that we underestimate Kirby's ability to coach in the game that he's been here before.
Yeah, but you got to do it with a quarterback that's only played 1 game. And not even 1 game, like a quarter and a half. Halftime.
The quarterback on the team you're telling me doesn't impress me at all. So I don't know.
Riley Leonard?
What has he done that has showed you
he's better than this guy by miles? And if you put a comparable defense out there and a comparable offensive line, you're gonna. I mean, if
this kid's as bad as you say, then they are gonna win, and we'll make money. Put it that way. If you're right, we'll make money.
We gotta get through Indiana. Indiana's a tougher test to me than Georgia. Oh, that's Penn State. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Sorry, I got my teams mixed up. I take it back. I'm stupid.
Do you need some water there, dude?
No. But anyways,
that's the tea, I suppose.
That is the tea. No, Notre Dame does play Indiana. I'm stupid. I was right. Okay. Yeah, Indiana's a tougher match. Yeah, the Georgia. That is, I stand on that. I forgot
who. No.
The Georgia.
No.
Georgia doesn't have a quarterback, Trey.
In what way, Anthony? Russo. Without a starting quarterback, they're better than Indiana. In every way, they're better than Indiana. In every way.
So you're telling me if Georgia played they'd beat Indiana?
With all of my confidence, yes. All of it.
All right. I don't know if I agree. Georgia got lucky they won that game because my God, they would be in trouble.
If Texas played Indiana today, who's winning?
Texas.
Okay.
Texas plays Georgia today.
Is Carson Beck the reason why Georgia was up in the game against Texas, Russo? Was that why they were up?
I'd argue yes. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I think that puts a bow on our episode. As we're going to have to take this conversation off camera because I'm about to start cussing. Guys, we really appreciate you being here. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Give us a little bit of a like if you don't mind. Let us know what you think. Give us your thoughts in the comments. if Russo's on crack or if he's justified. Has the milk and cookies gone to his head and made him wear shades indoors? I don't know. We'll see. There's a high chance that we are locked in and active on the Twitter sphere. We absolutely.
I will be drunk. I will be drunk on Saturday.
Family Christmas party. I'll be drunk my damn self. But we love you and we cherish you. That's me.